As an artist or a creative person or a business person or a person that makes decisions in general, you make a decision based on an idea and you run with it with action and then results come out of it. But in the place where you work with two people making the decisions, it's not a straight line, it's a zigzag. You end up like in an entirely different place, or more on this side, more on that side. Maybe it's on the front side, maybe it's looking at it backwards or flipping the whole thing upside down. And it creates less of a linear one-track mind and more of, I would say, more real creativity, which is collaboration through compromise. Okay, let's get straight to the point. I'm talking about my business partner, my best friend, and above all, my love, Rebecca Rice. My fiance Rebecca and I are moving into our very first studio in Riverside, California for our video production company called Rebecca Blue Media. A company where we use media such as photo and video to tell stories about various topics for businesses and individuals all around the world. Most people see the fun times, but I think it's necessary to talk about the deep, dark moments as well. This isn't easy to talk about, but I want people to see the reality of owning a business with your partner through the ups and downs. It's getting a little tense around here. This mini chapter in our life started a day before we got the studio when we drove to pick up the keys.
I think the thing that makes me nervous right now is like opening the door and is it as cool as I remember? Is it gonna be
Like, we have a mailing address now.
Oh my god,
it's not
it's
just
so
our house.
exciting. We'll have to change our checks and everything.
It didn't feel real. I even told Woodie, I said, it's not real until we have the keys and like our deposit and our security and our first month or whatever is paid and the landlord has left and it's like after hours. That is when like it'll be real.
Maybe leave the camera in here until he leaves.
Yeah,
And then we'll
so-
bring it in.
Okay, we're gonna go walk in and get our keys to our very first office for the company Rebecca Blue Media. Leaving the camera in here in respect to the landlord, but we're really excited. Yeah. How did it feel to get the keys handed to you?
I was like, okay, but like what's the catch?
So what did we just get?
We got the keys to our studio.
Once we actually got the key and he left and we closed the door and like we locked it, we just kind of looked around like, oh crap, like this is real, this is happening. Like, cool. Part of it is like anxiety, like, oh crap, we've like never had overhead like this before. But then the other part of it is like really exciting and enticing because now we have to think differently. So it's like, it's weird. It's like that weird transition. It's called growth, right? So we're in like a growth spurt and it's weird and it's scary and it's daunting, but at least we don't have to do it alone.
It wasn't always this clear. There was once a time where we were alone. It was much different back then.
Where did I think my professional media career would lead to when it first started out? I honestly thought I was gonna be broke, jobless, homeless. End of story. I don't know, that's just kind of what I envisioned. Like taking that leap to say like, hey, I'm gonna pursue something in media. It's never with conviction and confidence. It's always with like ooh, is this a good idea? Like I have no idea.
I mean, when I first started out doing video, I started doing some music videos for my cousin. There was never any like big dreams like for it. It was simply just fun. So there's this 27-year-old girl that owns a video production company in Riverside and owns an office and runs an internship with multiple schools. Do you see yourself as that person?
Not at all. I see myself as the girl who just graduated high school who thinks she's gonna be a journalist and it just completely failed. That's how it feels.
Isn't that crazy?
It is really weird.
It's really awesome.
Well, it started off as Rebecca Blue Photography. My first logo was shit. It was so bad. And then when I realized I was doing social media work, I wanted to be able to do social media management. And I didn't want to limit myself to photos or the keyword and SEO of just photography. So it's when Rebecca Blue Media came in.
Day 2 came around quickly, we decided we're gonna wake up earlier. We're gonna put some coffee in our system way before. We showed up this time with sort of a game plan to go and look for maybe like some possibilities for furniture or some possibilities for just some of the items that we wanted inside. We are currently picking up all of our office furniture, all of the desks, any of the chairs that we need, and we're going with a nice white finish look so that the office can have this minimal, classy look to it. The problem was we didn't actually have a specific idea of where anything went. Like all of this was just like, let's just go and kind of see what maybe fits in some of the ideas that we have, but we don't have a clear drawing still at this point. Like the goal is to get the space done with. The goal is to get the space up and running because we are still running like a day-to-day business. Things need to be edited, people need to be emailed, there needs to be calls that need to be made. I think there is that pressure behind us too. And so it's like, pick something, but make sure it's the right decision because trips, our ideas need to align and work needs to be done. So stoked to get all of the office furniture. We got everything a crisp, clean white, loaded it all with my brother Diego and Rebecca. So half of me loves coming here and getting office furniture, but the other half does not like it as much because I have to load everything, and sometimes I like to do it by myself because I'm afraid that I'm gonna do something dumb and then I'm gonna end up hurting Rebecca or Diego or whoever else is helping me, because I just try to like lift it and then maybe I don't call out that I'm gonna move to the left and then Rebecca ends up moving to the right and then there goes the toes. So we brought the stuff back and we tried to kind of configure what we had into these little spaces, and it's like we were moving her desk to face one way and then to another way. Do we face the window? Do we not face the window? Do we have it as a communal area or do we have it as like an individual area? I think there was just too many questions that we didn't think about before we left to the warehouse. We are all finished with the day. It was a long day hauling a bunch of items. Very quickly, day 3 came around and we decided to take a trip down to IKEA. And IKEA is shopping. It's a freaking maze. It's like an entire maze and it's an entire day. It's not like you just show up, you get the desk that you want. They have like different colors and then they have different heights, different sizes, different styles, and they have too many options, and it's just a lot. All of the things that we wanted from IKEA, they were out of stock. That was really disappointing. Yeah. Oh, the only 2 items that we got were our fold-up desks, but those took, I think it was over an hour. We got a ticket to go to the back of the warehouse, and they just said it was gonna take them an hour to bring it down from their warehouse, which was completely ridiculous. So what our plan was that night we were gonna come back, we were gonna install the desks, we were gonna do everything. It was gonna be all goody.
It'll work out.
And it didn't work out like that. That hour kind of sucked out any bit of energy that we had, and we were kind of just over the day, so it was like, let's just go home. Okay, so I totally just skipped over the moment. You know, that moment of disagreement I told you about. A moment where we started seeing different roads for our creative decisions. I actually haven't been able to release this video because of this very moment. It's just kind of weird for me to show because I want people to know me as a happy person all the time. One that flows like water and is always open-minded, but looking back at the upcoming clip, I've realized that I was everything but that in this moment. It's important to know that this was purely a creative disagreement, and all was argued with the intention of making the space a more creative environment.
So there was a day where Woodie and I were going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth about what furniture we were gonna do, where we're gonna hang stuff, how we're gonna use the space. And if you know Woodie or myself, you know that we are very strong, opinionated people. And the hard part about being a strong, opinionated person is we both respect each other's opinions so much so that we're willing to jeopardize our own creativity so that the other person can like thrive and go with their way, because we respect them both professionally and personally, you know? And if someone who's coming in who's like an incredible designer and is telling you, hey, this is how you do a design, you're not gonna say no, you know? You're just gonna either add on to it or step down so they can take over. And so we were battling all day of like almost having decision fatigue because we had to decide so many things. And they were all creatively like exhausting. This is exchange. It's exactly how I felt yesterday. So
Then let me get out of this room.
Can you like?
Well, because
tell me when you're wrong?
because I know I just don't want to. I just don't want to play. Let me just stop recording. It's even weird like talking about it because I just had to turn off the camera because there's just moments that, I mean, I guess I should record, but it just felt like I'm watching my own horror movie, you know? And I just feel like if Rebecca and I ever have a moment of like, I don't know, like a long hug, I normally stop the camera and just enjoy the hug. Or like a serious argument, I just stop the camera and like focus on the situation. I just have to turn off the camera to silence my brain a little bit.
We like came back home and I think we were both just kind of like mentally clocked out, not only because we've been running around all day and we were like physically tired, we hadn't been taking care of our bodies, we hadn't been sleeping, we were stressed and overworked, but we were also creatively tired. So we weren't even like in the right headspace to make these types of decisions. And so going home at the end of the day, it was rough. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it wasn't easy, you know, but I think that's the beauty of also being their partner in life, because you have that like, you know, that home feeling of like, yeah, you can be at odds creatively, you can be in debt up to your neck in business and have like a completely failing company, but at the end of the day, like your person is still your person. And so even though we can like duke it out and battle and like argue and fight, we can still come back and like say, hey, look, that hurt my feelings, you know, creatively that hurt my feelings, and you made me feel like this, and that's okay. And I think just vocalizing like, hey, that made my feelings hurt, and B, it's okay that you hurt my feelings. It was such like a profound switch, I think, in both of us, because it was that like reminder of like, oh no, I respect your creativity. It's not that I disregard it, it's that I just had a different perspective. And it was cool because we both like sat down and were like, huh, well now I know. So I think we kind of learned like that teeter-totter in a way.
It's necessary to have disagreements. Because when you reflect on this constant movement of both of you working together in a creative space, you realize that you're only propelling each other forward. The things that I've learned from Rebecca are the things that I shout out on my podcast, the things I shout out on this channel, and to everybody that I know, anybody that I ever cross. Just start somewhere, create stuff, start before you're ready, do what you love. All of these are the things that Rebecca was shouting off the rooftops to me and that I took with and I ran with. You might have the spark, but Becca is like, has large amounts of gasoline. And so even if I am creative, just that like love and passion and drive just like fuels me like crazy, and it's just able to bring out so much more than I thought I was ever capable of. An example of that would be the beginning of this YouTube channel. After getting through a creative bump in the road like the one we had, we always make sure to reflect on everything we've been through as a couple and count the blessings. Sure, you will have disagreements, but by looking back, you begin to see one of two things. If you have brought each other higher because of challenges or lower because of them. The road will always have bumps, but the overall mood in our relationship is always amazing, and we learn so much from each other. This is the power of having such an amazing partner like Rebecca Rice. Now, this doesn't just apply to romantic relationships. It goes for the people you spend the most time with, like family and friends. Find people that elevate you as a creative, a business, or overall as a person.
Good night, everybody.